to look at and confront within and without. If one looks into the accounts of near-death experiences, NDE, and what some people have seen or realized, there is a common theme: this profound experience of objective love, which is not related to the love as the human personality experiences it. It is, for example, as one person who had a NDE said, not a sentimental get a tear, feel someone's pain feeling, not an emotion. It is beyond sentiment or feeling someone else in this form, but relates more to an all-expensive knowing and understanding. Ultimately, there is no love where there is no truth and knowledge. Love entails seeing the world as it is, not as we like, want it, or assume it to be. Hence, true love is essentially linked to how much one can access objective reality.
You know, the consciousness movement has led us to create a kind of a hybrid spirituality that is mixed with a very toxic degree of narcissism. And we need to look at that. It has made us very hypersensitive and not very strong. I would say to you, what has it made us conscious of? Because if it made us that conscious of the world, we wouldn't be in the state we're in. If it made us that conscious of the world, we wouldn't have dropped the ball on the management of freedom in the Bill of Rights. But we did. We've lost our civil rights. We dropped the ball. We dropped the ball on the management of the Earth's creatures, and we've got 150 chimps left. What have we become conscious of these last 50 years? Where have we been? We've been processing wounds. I know people who say, I'm working to become conscious, but I won't look at the TV and I won't read the news. Then what are you becoming conscious of? Myself. Now I have to tell you something. That's exactly the formula through which you cannot heal. You cannot heal. Can you understand that? That kind of narcissism is the classic formula for fueling your own rage. Your own rage. Narcissism, and it's about me, it's about me, it's about my time, my space, my needs, my this, my wounds, my this. I have to tell you that the ungenerous heart and the narcissist go to the hospital and get your meds. Because you cannot, it is not possible to find yourself healing from the serious disorders that require an emergence into a cosmic level of consciousness.
In order for love to be the agent of change towards a better world and to bring about positive change, we also need to acknowledge the darker side of life and the world we live in, the things and issues many people look away from, believing that by simply focusing on the good and positive, there will be a shift in consciousness. This kind of thinking is the blind spot in many New Age teachings these days, which actually results in the opposite of what is intended. For the unacknowledged shadow grows bigger and stronger, manifesting itself unconsciously through our collective. As the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The many ideas of just focusing on love and how people interpret that, or sending love to the world leaders and humanity, or even to the planet, are not acts of real love, but merely emotional projections which are self-deceiving and put man more into sleep, believing he's actually doing something and bringing about positive change. True love respects free will, and one cannot give or send love to someone who didn't ask for it. One has to wonder when people talk about world peace and love, but still vote for Obama and believe the lies we are being told by our governments, be it about 9/11, the war on terror, or anything else that has been clearly used for social control. One can have as many positive, loving, nice thoughts and emotional highs as one like, but if one still believes in lies, follows teachings based on lies, there will be no raise in consciousness nor access to a higher love that can actually be a true agent of healing and awareness. On the contrary, believing in lies feeds entropy, no matter how well-meaning the intent. Love is beyond words, and no change is going to happen if people simply repeat that love is the answer or all you need is love, while still clinging to illusions and not engaging in sincere self-work. Without a deep understanding and knowledge of what love truly is and entails, we just keep going in circles as history is repeating itself. If we really want the shift in consciousness, then we need to take a look into the mirror and also do the work to see the world as it is, without ignoring things that may not look that pretty. There's still much we have to confront before we can enter a new world based on love, peace, and truth. Also seems to be much confusion about what is supposedly positive or negative, subjective or objective. Some people claim that there's nothing like objectivity and all is subjective. Everything depends on how we look at things, and quantum mechanics, so they say, shows us that there is no objective reality or truth, but there is only my or your truth, and we create our own reality by the thoughts we have, what we like to see and what we focus on. But is that really so? It seems that the science of quantum mechanics has been oversimplified into sales bits in the New Age arena and movies like The Secret. This doesn't mean throwing out the baby with the bathwater, as our perception does seem to have an influence on reality. But maybe it's not as simple as we have been made to believe by many best-selling self-help gurus these days. The question about the existence of an objective truth is a tricky one to answer. Philosophical views on truth and criteria for knowing it vary with the old dispute between rationalism and empiricism. However, beyond philosophical or scientific discussion, there usually seems to be one element that is barely questioned in more depth. the state of being and awareness of a person, which relates to how much objective reality he or she can actually access. In our current state of being and existence, we cannot perceive objective reality fully. However, we can work towards objectivity and expand our understanding of reality and ourselves accordingly. A shift in consciousness and awakening implies a higher state of awareness, which means to become more aware of it all, which implies again to see the world and oneself more objectively, without blinders on. This doesn't happen by itself, but requires sincere effort and work to separate truth from lies, within and without. That is the basis of esoteric work, which relates to gaining self-knowledge in order to raise awareness and consciousness to a higher level of being. Subjectivity is the preference to rather consider one's favorite beliefs than the external world. Such a tendency is generally backed by a strong emotional attachment to these beliefs. Wishful thinking, assumptions, and opinions based on reactive behavior directly relate to it. Objectivity is the ability to see things as they are, not as we envision them to be, like them, or want them to be. The ability to perceive objective reality depends upon one's ability to clearly receive. To reach a higher state of objective awareness, one must first see themselves clearly, and that entails to work through one's lies, illusions, buffers, and self-deceptions. It's easy to over-philosophize the idea of objectivity versus subjectivity without considering some very practical applications. For example, regardless of what one believes to be one's truth or what one is thinking about and visualizing, if you walk off a cliff, won't gravity pull you down? Isn't 1 + 1 2 and not 3? Is the world round or flat? And in regards to global issues, is the official 9/11 story true or have we been lied to? Was it a false flag attack? Are we losing our basic rights for our protection from the so-called terrorists, or is there a different reason? Is Obama telling the truth or is he lying? These questions can be answered objectively if proper research is done. However, the truth may not necessarily agree with one's preferred beliefs, opinions, or assumptions. So it is important not to fall into denial or avoidance when some of our core beliefs are being challenged, especially if one is emotionally attached to them and the ego tries to, unconsciously, defend the lies in order to be right, as the truth may open up a can of worms one is not ready to handle. Moreover, no matter how much one tries to close oneself off from the outside world, believing that nothing will affect them as long as one focuses on positive thoughts and what one likes to experience, the bigger issues of the world still have an effect on us all, precisely because we are all one and everything is connected. No man is an island and no one's reality is isolated from the whole. A fetish paradigm that is currently running amok through the New Age community for quite a while is better known as "you create your own reality" and is deliberately creating a lot of confusion. You create your own reality is a very misleading and tentative paradigm with a certain half-truth in it that is never expressed in this way.